All right, all right, all right. We're here to go live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to tonight's call. So, for those of you that don't know me, I am Art, part of the dynamic duo of Art and Aisha. We are 27-year real estate investors, and we do these calls every week in our our Facebook group, but we are going to start doing these calls so that more people can see them. So that is what the purpose of this call is about. And every time we do a call, we're going to start doing these, if not every other day, every day. But I'm gonna announce it as soon as we have a little bit more structure. We are going to talk about some aspect of real estate and getting started. And this is for people that have real estate experience. Maybe you bought some rental properties. Maybe you have flipped a house. You've done a fix and flip. We're going to talk about what we have built in our business. We're going to talk today about building a seven-figure, and yes, I did use seven-figure business in real estate from home, how you can do it from home. And we're going to talk, some of the stuff we're going to talk about is not what most people traditionally see in real estate investing. So some of it may make sense to you, some of it may not, but we're going to try to keep this pretty simple and pretty straightforward so you can see what it's like to build a seven-figure business in real estate. And when you see how we do this, it'll make sense. Now, I will tell you that me and Aisha have been doing real estate for 20 something years. We have not been building a seven-figure business or we haven't been making seven figures for 20 something years. We started off as landlords and we bought a bunch of rental properties. And for about 3 years, we bought 36 rental properties. We had a bunch of single family houses, and it was great and horrible all at the same time. So we had a bunch of properties, we had a bunch of tenants. It's a whole bunch of headache. But we'll get into what we did in the past and what we do now. So let's get into this. So follow along. If you have questions, put it in the chat. I will be happy to answer, and I'll talk to you throughout this whole thing. So if you want to ask a question, have no problems interrupting and asking the question. All right, so let's get into this. So let's talk about it. What do you want? What is your goal with real estate investing? Everybody talks about getting into real estate and how you can make all this money. But when you think about it, money is a purpose, but it is not the final purpose. Are you interested in building a real business that can scale to seven figures? Now, a lot of people, this is something hard for them to wrap their heads around, and their logic is, yeah, am I really going to make seven figures? And the answer is yes, you can if you structure it correctly, and that is what you want to do. But you have to be clear on your purpose. If you're not looking to do seven figures, by all means, you can do a six-figure business and be fine. Our first year, we did six figures in profit. So we did high six figures in profit of doing what we do now, what I'm going to discuss with you on this call. Do you have the ambition but lack a step-by-step process? A lot of people feel like, hey, I would do real estate and I could be great at it if I just knew exactly what to do. I'm going to kind of lay out a full process of what you can do in real estate. And like I said, if you have questions, ask in the chat and I'll be happy to answer as we go through this, but I should be pretty thorough. So we'll see. Third, have you tried challenges and trainings, but only gotten information overload? A lot of people that I see that come to us that we work with, they talk to us about how they got into this program, they paid all this money, and they told them 16 different ways to finance a property, 22 ways to find a house, and every one of them sounds good, but then what ends up happening is you get lost. You don't know if that's exactly what you want to do. You don't know if, you get into all this stuff and it sounds great and you don't actually end up doing anything because you're kind of spinning from all the stuff that happens. Tonight, I'm going to show you how to create two businesses and make seven figures in real estate. Okay. You're going to end up with two businesses if you follow this process. I am not a big gatekeeper. I share what we do because a lot of people, even if they find out, they will not do it. It's not hard, but they won't do it. So if you are someone that's been interested in real estate, you haven't taken the dive, or even if you have and you haven't seen the success that you want, then this may be of benefit to you. So the next 30 minutes, I will share our process. So pay attention. I'm not telling you how to do this. I'm telling you this is exactly what we have done. And it makes sense for us. And it should make sense for most of the people that we worked with. It's made sense for them. So we'll talk about that. So who is this training for? If you have limited or no real estate experience, then you probably want to watch this because we're going to talk about it from the very beginning to what you should do at the end. If you have been interested in real estate but been too cautious to take the first steps, this should be TOO. I'm a stickler for words. If you have been interested in real estate but been too cautious to take the first steps, keep watching this because it will make sense for you. and you can ask, we can ask questions. If you are a landlord, but you want or need a better way to make money, I was a landlord for years and I hated it. I was a landlord. It's good when you get the checks, but you're fighting with people. We're in the Chicago market, so the Chicago market is extremely tough for landlording. And there are a lot of other tough areas, but it was not for me. And if you want to make more money in real estate than landlording, this is for you. This training is for you if you are in any of these groups. So pay attention and we'll get into it. So, how to make 7 figures in real estate from scratch. Let's get right into it and dive in. If you have any questions, like I said, you can ask in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them, provided I see them, and we'll go from there. Number one, tonight we will discuss a reasonable timeline to get to 7 figures in real estate. And this is reasonable for somebody starting from scratch that does not have experience. I'm going to show you some examples. What it takes from you to get to 7 figures in real estate. What do you have to have? What do you need to have to get to 7 figures in real estate? What does that look like? Why you should never start with rentals or rehabs to make 7 figures. This is a lesson that I wish someone had told me years ago, that you should not start with rentals or rehabs to make 7 figures. And I'm going to explain that why that is in just a second. How to build this 7 figure business from your desk. Everything we do in our real estate business, I can literally do from this desk. I don't have to see most of the properties that we buy. I don't have to see them. I don't visit them, and we still turn a nice profit on each one of them. And then we're going to talk about why the full quick turn strategy makes getting to 7 figures not just possible, but a must. When I break this down for you in just a second, you're going to see why getting to 7 figures, it sounds like, oh, this is a really, kind of crazy topic, but it's going to actually help you because you're going to have problems if you don't build your business this way. And we'll talk about that in just a second. So for those of you that didn't come in at the very beginning, who are we and why are we able to do this? My name is Art, and along with my wife, Aisha, we have been investing in real estate for 26 years and have done hundreds of real estate deals. We started off literally, we got married when we were 21 years old, and we have been investing in real estate ever since. We bought our first property. It was a 2-flat building on the south side of Chicago, and we've been investing ever since. How can we help you? We have made life-changing money in real estate over our career, and we share our process and our real-world challenges, because if you think we just did it and it was a happy-go-lucky time, you are sadly mistaken. We share our real-world challenges and our processes with you to help you start or grow your real estate business. So this is going to help you build a real estate business. We have developed a strategy of buying and quickly selling properties that we believe is superior to other strategies, because you make more money, you do less legwork, and you get more consistency and build a legacy business with our strategy. So you're going to get consistent income, which is something that a lot of real estate investors never get to. You're going to make more money per deal, and then you're going to actually be able to build a legacy business, something that you can share with your kids or you can pass down to your kids. And it's going to actually make sense financially to do that when I share this with you. Okay. This is our most valuable training. So watch this full video and pay attention and follow along. And like I said, if you have questions, ask in the chat and I will be happy to answer as we go. All right. So can anyone do this? Our current group of students have purchased or are in the process of negotiating, purchasing, and selling over $3 million worth of real estate, with about $1.9 million of that in profit in the last 6 months. This is just what they've done in the last 6 months. Many of our students are buying multiple properties. We should have a process to buy portfolios of properties. Like Lisa. This is Lisa, who has never purchased investment property before, and since working with us has purchased her first investment property with a potential sale profit of $175,000. So that's her first property that she has, and she's been in multiple programs. She said that we got a video from her where she said that this was the best program for showing her what she actually needed to do and not giving her a bunch of stuff. Or Kyra. Kyra is one of our best students who purchased her first investment property and sold it in the next few weeks for a $50,000 profit. Kyra is actively pursuing deals. She literally just got off the phone with me today. She's pursuing deals right now, buying her next set of deals. Or Yolanda. Yolanda did a great job. She is a realtor, but she had never purchased property for herself. And after working with us, she secured a deal on 3 properties and made a total of $134,000. She actually made more than that, but on one of those properties, she made $134,000 in profit by following our process. Let's get started on how you can flip a deal now. Now, when I say flip a deal, we are not talking about fixing a property up, so please pay attention. Let's talk about a timeline to hit seven figures starting from scratch. If you are starting from scratch, what realistically can you expect to do to get to seven figures? To hit seven figures, you need to develop your single family business to throw off cash. I am a big believer that single family real estate is not an investment grade asset. Now, I know that sounds crazy, and a lot of you are going to say, what do you mean it's not an investment grade asset? Exactly what I said. You should not be buying and renting out or keeping single family houses. You shouldn't be buying them and fixing them up, in my opinion. Okay. Once you get past what you need to live, in other words, you need $150,000 a year or $200,000 a year. Once you get past that, use the excess cash, meaning the cash you make over that amount, to make your first commercial purchase. So when people work with us, a lot of times the question comes up: if you're doing so well and making money, why are you supporting me doing that? Why aren't you just making money with real estate? Why are you teaching something? We are teaching because we actually want people to succeed so that they can invest with us in commercial real estate. We buy into commercial real estate, and that's part of the business that you're going to learn. This will serve you in two ways. Number one, you will make larger cash flows, easing your own financial needs, because you're going to make cash flows off of the commercial real estate, not the single family houses. You're going to use those to build cash, build a war chest of cash. Number two, which is the big one, you will offset taxes. Taxes is the main reason we go into commercial real estate. You will offset taxes by putting excess cash into commercial investments. So this is going to let you offset your taxes that you make. Listen, I'm going to break this down, and let me give my disclaimer. I'm not a tax attorney. I'm not a tax accountant. This is my own personal experience with taxes, but you have to check with your professional for your situation. When you buy and sell houses and you make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 on a house, the problem is you did that in short term, meaning it took you less than a year. If you follow our process, you are going to have a capital gains issue. The first year we did this, we did $800,000+ in our first year. It was life-changing money. The problem with that was that we had a tax bill on that money, and you don't get it in one lump sum. It comes after you're doing deals. So you end up on this large tax bill. What we learned after that year was that if you put the excess money into commercial real estate the right way, you can offset the taxes. You don't eliminate the taxes, but you can push them down the road or kick the can down the road. And that saves you a lot of time and headache and money. How fast you scale your single family business depends entirely on how you do your work. Some people want to build this thing quickly. Some people are like, hey, I just want to do it slowly. And whenever I feel like it, it's that kind of thing. It's up to you. All right. Your single family business is where you learn to negotiate and how to value property. So where you learn to negotiate deals and how to value property, which you will use those skills when you get into commercial real estate as well. But it's for you to learn that in single family where it's easier. When you start in commercial, you will learn the value of relationships. And that's part of what commercial is relationships. The people that are in commercial real estate are a bit different from people in regular single family deals, but you'll learn the value of relationships. This process can take several months to over a year to develop and grow. But the beautiful thing about this is you get to earn as you go. You get to earn money and do this while you're growing and building your business. Okay. Quick turning, our process will get you started quickly. It'll get you started in this entire process quickly and show you how to kind of hit the ground running. What it takes to get to seven figures. You must master 4 skills. And let me be clear on this. These are the only 4 skills you need to master to begin building your single family business. Everything else, and some of you are going to be surprised, everything else is a distraction. Number 1, you need to learn to build a serious deal funnel. You cannot grow without deals. You have to have enough deals coming across your desk that you can make decisions on what's the right deal. If you have one deal in front of you, you're more likely to make a bad deal because you're eager to get a deal done, if that makes sense. So you'll just say, oh, I'll just take it and figure it out. If you have 10 deals on your desk, then you're more likely to say, look, this is what I can offer you on each property, and you're going to make the numbers that make sense for you, and then you're going to get good deals, because some people are going to say yes, some people are going to say no. That's okay. What you don't want to be is eager to try to do it yourself. Just hurry up and get a deal done and end up taking on a bad deal. So that's number one, building a serious deal funnel. Okay. Number two is learn to negotiate with sellers and disarm their fear. Sellers, when they call you, everybody that's selling a house, this is the biggest transaction of their life in most cases. They have never bought anything bigger than a house. So they're going to be nervous. They're going to be defensive. They're going to be not sure. You have to be that voice of reason when you're talking to them. And you have to talk to them in a way that makes them feel comfortable and a way that makes them feel like, hey, this is somebody I want to sell my house to. Okay, if that makes sense. And it matters how you approach them. So you're going to learn to negotiate with sellers and disarm their fear. Next, learn the only two finance processes you need to finance all your quick turn deals. So if you've ever done any training, they, like I said this earlier, they're going to teach you 22 different ways to finance property. In my experience, you only need 2 to 3 ways to finance every single deal. One is a commercial lender line of credit that we use. It's a commercial lender, and they finance our single family deals, and they finance all of them if we want to. You apply once and you're good for a year with them. The other is a lender that does 100% financing, and they will finance everything. And the only thing you have to pay is the title fee that you close when you're closing. And then the third way is, it doesn't always make sense, but we do a specific process for owner financing when it makes sense. When you do specific owner financing, the way we do our owner financing, it works really well. We typically get 0% interest and no payments for the life of the loan. That's how we usually do our owner financing. Like I said, it doesn't work every time, but they're not checking credit. They're not telling us what the interest rate is. We're getting 0% interest and no payments for the life of the loan. And then the final step is learn to quickly exit deals for maximum profit. This is where most people actually struggle. A lot of times when they get a deal and they're happy they got a deal and they're going to make all this money, they start thinking, maybe I should rent this place out. Maybe I should go ahead and rehab it. You don't have to do all of that stuff. You just need to get our goal. And let me be clear, perfectly clear on this. Our goal is to get the check. Our goal is not to own a bunch of properties. Our goal is not to try to make it's a mountain of portfolio properties on single family. Our goal is to get the check. Okay. The next step is to make this process repeatable to build cash. That's all you have to do. Make these 4 steps repeatable, and not just repeatable, but where you can do all 4 steps simultaneously. While I'm building my deal funnel, I should be negotiating on some deals. While I'm negotiating on some deals, I should be financing some deals. While I'm financing some deals, I should be exiting deals. This will bring you consistency because you're doing enough deal flow that it makes you really good money. Okay. Your money will be off the table after the first deal. So if you're worried about how am I going to finance all this stuff, you are going to do it by closing one deal that's going to take your money out of the equation, and then using your money over and over again, churning it, not all of it, but using it to finance what you need for down payments or anything like that. And you're going to grow your business that way. That's how me and Aisha did it. Why you should never start with rentals or rehabs. Let's talk about that. Why do you drastically limit your chances of success with rentals and rehabs? Why will they hold you back from reaching your full potential? There are a few obvious reasons that we can cover. These aren't all of them, but I wanted to catch on the most important things that I saw that kind of limit people from doing single family, doing their single family rentals. Number one is rentals are labor intensive. From rehab to management to clean outs, they are labor intensive. I got a student right now that has a Section 8 tenant, and they are going over to the property, and they literally just did an inspection today. They've got to go back over to the property today because they got to put an outlet cover on an outlet. It's a little outlet, it's 2-cent outlet cover, but they got to take, half an hour, 45 minutes out of their day to go put up an outlet cover. Rentals are labor intensive. And I know you're going to say, but I make monthly cash flow. The profit you make on rental money, that money gets wiped out as soon as you have a problem. If you have to deal with an eviction, if you have to deal with a rehab after they tore up the place, that money gets wiped out. People just don't see it that way. Doing these things takes time. That is the big factor. Rental takes time, and it does not make you any more money. Think about it. When you have a rental, and let's say you make $1,000 on your rental property, that's after expenses and everything else, you clear $1,000. If you have to go over there and unclog a toilet, if you have to go over there and deal with the tenant that's moving out, any of those issues, you don't make a dime in more money. All of that is coming out of your profit, the time that it took. And that's a big factor. Rehabs are very time sensitive and often have unseen risk. If you've ever done a rehab, everybody starts off with they're going to make it beautiful and it's only going to take them 2 weeks. And then 6 months down the road, when they didn't finish because when they opened up a wall, there was something wrong, they realized, oh my goodness, this is a whole project and I wish I could just get out of it. When you open a wall, you are responsible for any issues behind that wall. That happens all the time. You do an inspection and they say, well, now that you open this wall, all this plumbing's got to come out of here. That's common with rehabs. Repairs take time, which make you open to market shifts as a rehabber. You're rehabbing the property, the market shifts, and now you can't get your money out, or you lost money because of the fact that it takes more time than you expected. You make your money on finding deals and negotiating. And I'm not talking about wholesaling, by buying and controlling the deal and then selling it. That's how you make your money in real estate. How to build 7 figures from your desk. Focus all your energy on building your marketing funnel. That should be number one. Number two is people will start to call you. You're not going to cold call. You're not going to have to go put out bandit signs or Facebook ads. People will start to call you and you negotiate strong deals with them. And because you've got multiple people calling you, you're going to put out the numbers that make sense for you. You're not going to be just so happy to get somebody calling you that you give them anything. If your deal is strong, it makes it easy to get financing. That's what a lot of people don't realize about financing. If you have a strong put together deal, you will be able to finance it easily. I'll give you a quick example of this. We had a lender that there were two people coming to this lender. There was us, and then there was a rehabber. The rehabber said, I got a property that's worth $150,000 right now, and I'm going to sell it for $300,000 after I put $50,000 into it. So I want you to loan me the $150,000 plus $50,000 more, and then I'm going to sell it for $300,000. Let's look at that for the lender. The property is only worth $150 right now. I, as a lender, would have to trust that you're going to fix it up, that you're going to do everything you're supposed to. The contractors are going to do everything they're supposed to. You're going to stay under budget. And if you do all of that, then I'll be rewarded with the return on my money. Meanwhile, we come to them and say, this house is worth $150,000. We're buying it for like $90,000. We're not going to fix it up or anything. We're going to sell it at $150,000. So the lender's looking at ours and saying, so I'm going to loan them $90,000 on an asset worth $150,000. And if they don't do anything right, then worst case scenario, I get this $150,000 asset and I can sell it and get my $90,000 out. It's lower risk for them. So they're more likely to give us better terms than a rehabber. So that's why your financing, if you have a strong deal, it makes your financing so much easier. Once you finance the deal, you quickly close, realizing the profit that you negotiated. Okay, you finance the deal, you close it, you get rid of it. You can do this and get your profit out. Don't rehab it, don't fix it up, don't deal with tenants. Repeat this process until you have replaced your income and have a war chest of cash. That's what this looks like. Repeat the process, you'll have a war chest of cash. Use that cash to locate commercial deals or work with us as a group. We go in and buy properties as a syndication, as a group, and put excess cash to work. That way you're not paying on taxes on it because you put it into another investment and you're getting a return on that investment. You will end up with two businesses, a short-term residential business, buying and selling homes, a long-term commercial business of buying commercial property, commercial assets. You will build massive income from two sources. Nobody will know. Okay. What do I do today to start building these types of businesses? If this interests you, I'm going to suggest you join our 14-day sprint and talk to sellers to get started. So what is a 14-day sprint? In this 14-day sprint, listen, I'm going to keep it honest. You don't know me, or maybe some of you do, but most of you don't. If you don't know me, then before we talk about getting into spending all this money in a training, you should learn to trust that what I'm saying is true. So I've got a way for you to do that. Let's talk about it. In the 14-day sprint, we will show you how to find the right sellers quickly, show you a proven process to talk to them without cold calling. You're not going to have to cold call them. Show you how to use data to pick the right areas to buy locally. You don't have to buy all over the country. I'm in one area. I can buy in a 50-mile radius of where I live. Most people in America can buy in a 50-mile radius of where they live. Now, why do I say that? Because if I walk out of a door If I walk out of my front door and I go 50 miles in any one direction, I'm going to run into a high income area with expensive properties. I'm going to run into a middle income area, and I'm probably going to run into a low income area. And that's anywhere in the United States. Between those areas, you can find more than enough deals to satisfy your life and pay yourself for the next 10 years. We will build your first mini marketing funnel. We'll show you how to do it step by step. We will get you talking to 2 to 5 sellers in 14 days. Not just no. Now, I know a lot of you, I'm going to say this really quickly. Most of you have probably heard of motivated sellers. Look for motivated sellers. I don't believe motivated sellers is the best way for you to make money in real estate. Why is that? The reason it's not the best way for you to make money is because motivation does not mean they have what you want. What we want to make money is equity. We want equity. So instead, we look for equity first, and then when they call us, then we determine if they're motivated. And that way we get the best of both worlds, which I call motivated equity. If you find a motivated equity seller, you've got somebody that wants to sell and they've got a good amount of equity. You're in the process of making a really strong deal. If you follow the steps and don't get results, you earn your money back. This sprint is a $99 sprint. It's enough for you to make an investment and be committed to it. If it follows through and does what it says, then you make a deal. You get a deal, and you haven't risked the bank to do that. If it doesn't make sense, then you can get your money back. Follow the steps and you get your money back. So it's very clear on what this does and what this looks like. Okay. Let me show you what these deals look like, what these kind of deals look like. So how do we know if this works? These are a couple of our deals that we've done in the past. We found sellers by building our marketing funnel. Our students followed the process and they found sellers. So they did the same thing. They found sellers. We negotiated some of the equity for high profit deals. You can see some of these properties and the profit that we were able to generate from these properties. We used one of 2 financing sources for all these deals. Either we used the lender or we used for owner financing. We sold to any and everyone, including tenants. We did not wait for a buyer's list. We don't keep buyer's list. We didn't go through any of that to see if the deal would work. We put together what made sense and we sold it to anybody that came with the money, whether it was bank money, whether it was cash. We didn't care. In our first year, we did high 6 figures in profits and bought our first commercial. These are a couple of properties, and these are the way they looked when we bought them. This is not after we rehabbed it. This is not after we did work. The way we find motivated equity, these properties are in livable condition from day one. You can see these properties. They don't look like there's something you're scared to go into or something you don't want to touch. These are simple deals that make really good money, and you can see the profits are there. Okay. This one's a good one. This is another example. So these are all properties that we did and we made actual profit without fixing them up, without dealing with tenants, without cold calling, without having a buyer's list. And we realized this profit in a relatively short time. And you can do the same thing. So you see, none of them are dilapidated or falling apart. So if you want help getting your first high profit real estate deal, join our 14-day sprint. You can sign up for our sprint and start talking to sellers. It's no risk to you. Immediately after you sign up, you get step-by-step instructions to start. It'll show you exactly what you need to do. You can follow the simple steps to start talking with high equity sellers. That is the secret. High equity sellers, people that have equity and they are motivated. Follow the steps, post your work. If you don't get results, we are so confident that this process works that you get your money back if you don't get results, provided you follow the steps. And it's very simple to follow. If this interests you, then the link is right up here in the QR code. You can click on that and you can actually get the link to see our training and get the steps and get started today. All right. And like I said, it's a $99 sprint, so it's not going to break the bank. If you have any questions, I'll sit on here for just another couple of seconds and answer questions. If you don't, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've gotten something out of it. We do these. We're going to start doing these weekly, and we're going to start doing them maybe more often than weekly because we've had a lot of interest from in our group. If you haven't been in our group yet, if you want to get access to our Facebook group, you can go to our website. I'll put it in the chat. Our website is quickturnre.com. You can go there. You can sign up for our group. You can sign up to join our free group, and you can see these calls every week. We do them once a week on Mondays. and you can ask questions and everything else. If you actually want to get started, if you're going to make this year the year that you actually get started in real estate and actually take some steps, join the 14-day sprint. It's about the easiest, no nonsense way to get started without actually having to risk your major investments or major money. I don't want people to come in and say, hey, I had to put up all this money and I didn't get something out of it. This is a way for you to start. And like I said, it's no risk. If it doesn't work, then you can easily stop doing it and follow the steps and you get your money back. We get on a call with every single person that does our sprint. We walk them through, make sure everything makes sense. They've gotten, had success or where they had challenges, and we get you to where you need to be. This is as close to hand holding to get started as you're going to get. And it's a $99 investment. It's not going to break the bank. If this makes sense to you, use the QR code up above. Get started today, and I'll be happy to walk you through it and get you started. You can literally start today. All right. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you've enjoyed this call. Like I said, I'm going to start doing these a little bit more. If you've enjoyed it, then follow the group. Join our Facebook group. It's quickturnre.com. You can get access to the group from there. I wish you guys the best. As always, have a great week. And as always, happy hunting. Have a nice night, everyone. Bye-bye.